grammar time. It's time to learn something new. And today it is about an interesting topic. Come on, let's see it together. And here we are. Today we're going to talk about restrictive relative clauses. Restrictive relative clauses. Okay, what is that? Well, by the way, sometimes you are talking, with a friend, with a relative, and you want to say more than one idea into that conversation, right? But what happens if we want to match these two ideas into one? Well, in that case, you need a relative pronoun. A relative, like a member of the family? Yeah, something like this. Because this relative pronoun helps you to match these two ideas, to link these two ideas. By the way, we have two different types of relative pronouns. We have them for subject and for object. We have them for people and for things. Come on, let's see this in full. And here we are. By the way, if you want to talk about people, you can use who, that, who, whom. And about their possessions, you can use whose. What happens if you want to talk about things? In that case, you can use that for subject, that for objects, and whose for possessions, right? I mean for their possessions. Come on, come back with me. What about subject, objects, and possessions? Well, sometimes you can relate these two ideas when you are talking about the subject. I mean, the noun, that person who we are talking about. But sometimes we want to relate these two ideas about an object. In that case, you need to use, the object relative pronoun. For example, for people, we have who and that. And for objects, we have that. So it's not the same. Please keep in mind, sometimes you're gonna use a subject to relate something, and sometimes you're gonna use an object to relate to ideas. Don't forget, you have pronouns for people and pronouns for things. Don't forget it. Okay, now let's see more examples to dip into this interesting topic. Let's see the next one. And here we are. Well, look, we have sentence 1 and sentence 2. And in this case, we're gonna link these two ideas into one using our relative pronoun. Come on, let's see it. For example, sentence 1, we have something like, a guest sent last night. A guest sent last night. Okay, this is about the past, and we are talking about a guest, the subject. Now, sentence 2, we have, the guest was Steve Wonder. The guest was Steve Wonder. Okay, how can we relate or match these two sentences into one? Of course, using a relative pronoun. By the way, we are talking about the guest. So the guest, Steve Wonder, is a subject. So we need to use a subject relative pronoun. Let's see the result. And we have the guest whose song last night was Steve Wonder. Can you see? We match the two ideas into one using a subject relative pronoun, who. And repeat it. The guest whose song last night was Steve Wonder. Excellent, we did it. Let's see another example. Sentence 1. The class is meeting now. The class is meeting now. Sentence 2. It's in room 3. Okay, those are familiar ideas because we're talking about the same topic, right? How can we relate or match these two ideas into one? Okay, we're talking about the class. The subject here is the class. And we can use, a subject relative pronoun. But wait a minute, a class is a thing, it's not a person. So choose a relative pronoun for things. Let's see the result. And we have the class that is meeting now is in room 3. The class that is meeting now is in room 3. Can you see? We use that to connect these two ideas. That. Why that? Because the class is a subject, but the class is a thing. So we use a subject relative pronoun for things. Come on, let's see this last example. And we have sentence 1. This is about possession. We have, the man's dog is so smart. The man's dog is so smart. Sentence 1. Sentence 2. He lives next door. He lives next door. Okay. Man's dog, he lives next door. Well, now we are talking about possessions. You know, the dog, right, is the possession of this man. Let's see the result and how can we connect these two ideas into one using a relative pronoun. In this case, we need to use a relative pronoun about possession. For example, the man whose dog is so smart lives next door. The man whose dog is so smart lives next door. Can you see? This is how we connect two ideas into one using this relative pronoun for possession. Okay, now let's see the same in full. And here it is. Remember, sentence 1, sentence 2, and how we connect these two ideas using a subject of relative clause. Well, now, come with me. And this time, let's see the next part. Come on, let's do the next topic. And the second one, we are talking about objects, all right? We are not talking about subjects anymore, but the object of the sentence. Let's see how can we connect these two ideas into one using a relative pronoun for object. Come on, sentence 1, we bought a new apartment. We bought a new apartment. Sentence 2, it's in Dubai. In this case, we are not talking about we, right? We are talking about the apartment. The apartment. So, how can we, connect these two ideas? Well, the new apartment that we bought is in Dubai. Right, the apartment was the start. In this case, we use that. This is it, relative pronoun for objects. Come on, let's see it in full now. And here you have 3 more examples. For example, the second one, she's in love with a movie star. He's Will Smith. So, we're talking about the object of the sentence, Will Smith. Come on, let's see how we connect these two ideas into one using relative pronoun for an object. Will Smith is a movie star that she's in love with. Can you see? We use that again because that is the only option to connect two ideas about the object of a sentence. Don't forget it. Now, the last example. I met a man. His sister is in my class. Right, we want to connect these two ideas about possession. This man's sister. Look the result. I met a man whose sister is in my class. Excellent, right? Come on, come with me. It was fabulous. Oh my God. Now you know how to connect two ideas into one using relative pronouns. Remember, you learned about relative pronouns for people and for things. Relative pronouns to talk about the subject, to connect the idea about the subject or to connect the idea about the object. And finally, possessions. Come on, it's time to practice. Can you think about more examples? Let's see it.